Uh, so a little bit of a tough one against Ontario. They seem to kind of have your number. Guys played them earlier in the year, but that was like bus travel back to back, that type of situation, and they just kind of did the same thing. Thoughts on what may have gone wrong tonight?
Well, early on, I think for two periods we were probably the better team. I thought they were pretty efficient on their chances. We created a lot. We had good power play looks and weren't able to get the second or third goal. And then I don't know if we're pressing in the third a little bit, but things get loose. And again, they were pretty efficient on chances. I think 6 on 20 tonight. So we've got to be a little bit tighter. Obviously, limit a little bit more. But there's some positives to take from this. But obviously, you don't want to lose that game to that score at home. We're going to have to look to improve.
And then you guys are going to have a little bit of a lineup change from what it sounds like with Bardakov, Ivan, a couple players with some offensive potential that are going to be coming into the lineup tomorrow. How's that going to reshape your approach to tomorrow?
Yeah, we're certainly going to get some fresh legs in. Anytime you lose 6-3, you're not going to lock that same lineup in an ink. So even if those guys weren't coming, there'd probably be some adjustments. Like I said, losing at home to that team at this time of year, there's got to be a little bit more from some individuals. So we'll make our adjustments, go through the film tonight, make some decisions, and hopefully inject those bodies in. They'll give us some life.
And then on the bright side, you do have games in hand on them, so you can get them back. You were always emphasizing at the beginning of the season that you guys were getting the points, getting that cushion. Now that cushion's paying off. You guys are only down by a point now because they leapfrogged you tonight. How important is that cushion been all season?
Well, it's always important to put points in the bank. I think it's far too early for me to say that I'm scoreboard watching and looking at the standings. We're still just trying to win every night. Mm-hmm. The games in hand, they're just games we need to win. So I'm not necessarily stressing that it's a must-win the next game. We have to get back to playing some cleaner hockey. And tonight, giving up 6 goals, a little too many, clearly. I liked some of the pushback from some of our guys in the third period, but by no means, are we relying on anything we did earlier in the year. We're just looking to win hockey games, and tomorrow's another big one.
Tonight was kind of a big night for Colorado Eagles history. With Kim behind the bench, and she was the first female coach for the Colorado Eagles to be behind the bench. How important was it to be a part of that?
Well, it's not necessarily something that I'm looking as an accolade of mine. To me, she's deserving of it. Obviously a situation with health, and she steps in there and she's a natural. So, I'm very proud of her individually. Just gotten to know her this year, but the growth she's had as a coach, whether it's the on-ice running drills and then, being in the fight and on the bench, it's another different feeling. So for her, I'm proud, happy for her, happy for the organization, and she's another. We talk about developing players all the time, but there's a piece of this where you're developing coaches and people and staff. So it's very good for us as an organization. Again, mostly just happy for her.
Well, I talked to the president last year of the AHL, and he always emphasized this is not just a player development league; it's a coach development league. It's a referee development league. You just emphasize that even more with that.
Yeah, and that's it's not something I take on personally, but yeah. I think there's some part and piece of my job that you're giving opportunities to people, and it's not charity. She's earned it. She's a great coach, and tonight was a good opportunity with some of the circumstances around our team. So again, I'm very happy for her and proud of what she's been able to do so far.
Awesome, great.